Hello, my name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness and Thrive Online. Today we are going to talk about side plank, Vashistasana. This is a great pose to help build up some super strong muscles in your shoulders and in your core. I absolutely love doing side plank. However, here's the thing. This is actually considered a fairly difficult pose. It doesn't come into the Ashtanga series until the third series out of 6. So that means you need to be fairly strong to be practicing this pose fairly regularly, right? But you're probably, if you've gone to yoga studios, if you've watched some other yoga videos, you've probably seen these side planks and thought, well, I guess it's not that hard. Guess what? It is very hard, and if you don't do it properly, you can actually injure your shoulders and your elbows. So let's talk about modifications and ways that we can practice this side plank and build up the strength to where we can do one nice and beautiful and maybe even have our hips open enough to hold the legs. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. So rule number 1, when you're wanting to get into your side plank, make sure that you can do a regular plank. So what am I talking about with regular plank? You want to have your shoulders on top of your wrist and your feet straight out. Your bottom's not up in the air, nor are you making a soup bowl, right? You've got one long line of energy from the backs of those heels through the top of your head. So you're not looking up, but you're also not looking down and dropping your head. You're nice and strong here in the side plank, tailbone lengthening down, low belly nice and in. Now, if you can hold your side plank for about 20 to 30 seconds and you can keep that nice core engagement that keeps you nice and strong, then we start to work on the side plank. Now, before we go into side plank, let me demonstrate what it's like to collapse into the shoulder girdle, because that was really a hard concept for me to get when I first started. So in a plank, you're thinking about pushing the earth away from you and almost like pushing the shoulder blades away from each other. So it's like a little bit almost of a cat back in that upper back. Oftentimes, as we're building up strength for this plank, you dump down like this. You see that kind of soup bowl in the belly and in the shoulders. That is danger zone for your shoulders. So it's dangerous for you to do in your plank, but it's even more dangerous for you to do in your side plank, because guess what? All of your weight is in that one shoulder girdle. So I'm going to demonstrate side plank on both sides so you can kind of see it. So when you come into your full side plank, I'm going to do it on my left hand side first. You come, all of your weight is on that left hand. You're actually going to have your shoulder. Some people can have that shoulder directly over the wrist, but that's really, really hard. So I actually like to have my shoulder not quite over the wrist altogether. That gives my wrist a little bit of space to breathe. Now, option number 1, you have your feet stacked. You can have your feet one in front of the other, or you can come up and grab your big toe. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, check out this shoulder. See how my shoulder is pushing away. My body is pushing away from the shoulder. We're not dumping. Did you see how my whole weight went down? This actually can be very dangerous for the shoulder. So push the earth away. Get your shoulder nice and strong. If you can't maintain that integrity, bring your left knee down, sliding that left heel down, and then try to get that same activeness, shoulder engaged, body pushing away from the shoulder, not dumping down into the shoulder. That's that same dump that we did in the plank. Let me do it here on the right side. So if we're going to do your full plank, side plank rather, on the right, hands flat on the ground like jazz hands, hands way out, taking up some real estate. That's going to help you to balance. Full expression of the pose, you have your toes stacked, hips straight up, not open. That's one thing that loves to happen. My shoulders are a little bit behind the wrist. You can have your knees on top of each other, feet on top of each other, or you can have them one in front of the other. And here's something that I love to cue. Try to flatten down that bottom foot. Can you see? It's almost like it's trying to walk, because guess what? That creates a little bit more oomph for you, and it kind of is like a yogi cheat, right? So gaze ultimately is up, but if that's too hard on the balance, that's okay. Remember, you can always come down to that right knee and practice your side plank like this. What you don't want to do is see how my body is pushing away from those shoulders. You don't want to dump into this. So here I am pushing away, here I am dumping. It actually kind of hurts now that I've been practicing for a while and I can see it. You don't want to be dumped here into the shoulder girdle, because that will actually cause pain over time. So, fun things that you can do while you are in your side plank. So, I'm going to go ahead and switch directions. If you're in this modified side plank with your left knee down, hips, you want to have this one long line of energy. You can go ahead and raise that right foot. Try to keep that right foot pressing into the imaginary wall. Guess what? That activates the glutes. This becomes a super fun and challenging way to work your glutes. You can do some circles, channel your inner Pilates. You can do big circles. You can go forward. And then you can also grab your big toe and lift up to get to the true full expression of your side plank. Most people don't do that one yet. Let me demonstrate that. On the right-hand side, you can do it on your right knee, right hand down, left hand up. Remember, you want one long line of energy from the side of your foot all the way through the crown of the head. This is the modification with your knee down. You can try to lift your left leg. We're not pointing at this point. We're going to keep those feet nice and flexed. I feel like that helps me to engage the glutes a little more. You can play with pointing your toes in different directions as you circle. That just engages different parts of the glutes, which is amazing. Or you can play with trying to grab your big toe and lift it up. You have to have super open hips to have it nice and open. Now, if you want to, and you've got your full side plank, you know how to hold it up, you're not on your knees, you're like, sweet, this is easy, easy peasy. You've got your feet flat. Remember, yogi cheat secret is that left foot is flat into the ground. You can play with your tree pose here. I'm sure you've seen that. Or you can do that same thing where you grab your toe and try to pull it up into the air, looking up. So here is the full side plank as prescribed or as taught in the Ashtanga 3rd series. You're pushing the earth away with your feet and your hands, lifting the hips up, and then pulling the foot up, the top foot up high into the air, working on everything being straight and strong, coming from the core, pushing the shoulder blades down and away from the ears, not collapsing into the shoulders. And you actually hold this, if you can, for 5 breaths. I'll demonstrate it one more time. Here you are on the side. Right hand is planted. Right foot, check it out. That right foot is actively trying to be flat on the ground, and that's going to help me to lift my hips up. And guess what? It actually makes it easier. You're like, it's pushing down into the ground so much that it's like it really is a cheat. If you're on the side, your core has to work a lot more. If you're on the you're on the bottom of the foot, the core can sustain this pose a lot more easily. Now, if you want to do the full expression, you grab the big toe. I have to look down at first to help with balance. Press the right foot into the ground to lift everything, and then you can play with looking up. Maybe. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you had fun playing with side plank Vashisthasana. It does require a whole bunch of core strength and shoulder strength. So make sure you're nice and warmed up. Make sure your wrists are nice and ready for this. And then take your time. Work to where you can hold the regular side plank maybe on your knees for 5 breaths, 10 breaths, maybe even 15. And then once you get really comfortable with that, then you start to play with lifting that bottom knee off the ground. And then you can play with other expressions like tree pose, lifting the leg, or maybe even grabbing the leg. And again, looking down is easier for balance than looking up. And then you just kind of play with it and have fun. Most important thing about yoga is that you're supposed to be having fun. If you get too serious, then as my teacher Manju says, serious leads to furious, kills the curious. So let's have fun. Let's explore what our bodies can do today. And always remember, you can come back tomorrow and it will be different. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye-bye.